Here we go. First recorded drive. Let's see how we go. Like that. Right, this is the new drive shaft. This is upside down. Recording upside down or what? Anyway, this is the new drive shaft. The Gibson's down the road. So, single piece with a slip yoke at one end, which I don't really need, but just for ease of installation. So I'm going to put that in now and take this car up the road, up the highway, get a sound test done. Hey guys, big day today. We're going to take the excuse me, the E46 up to a town about 30 kilometres away. I've had the car engineered. The engineer wants me to get a sound test done on it because I've got a pod filter which I've covered up. I've covered up with just like a bodgy aluminium shield with that I guess like a foam membrane there to try and trap the sound if it works. I'm hoping it does because I really don't want to try and make up a factory style air filter for it. So here in New South Wales I've got to get a drive-by test. Apparently all cars have a sound signature and this one has a sound signature. It's 79 decibels I think, or 74 decibels, something like that. So anyway, this has to do I have to do a drive-by test with the sound engineer, and he's going to measure the noise that this thing puts out. He'll be about 7.5 meters away, and he's going to measure the sound as I drive past at 60 kilometers an hour or 40 mile an hour, and yeah, he's going to be 7.5 meters away, and hopefully I get under the 79. If I don't, it's a fail and I won't pass the engineer, and the engineer's going to tell me to do some more modifications to it so I can try and get under that threshold. Alrighty guys, here we go. First recorded drive. See how we go. What is that? Window? To be honest, it sounds like a taxi because of the fan noise it's making. But I'd rather have drive-by test. You can see that light still flashing. So anyway, I did the drive-by test and the stationary test. Absolutely ripped it in. Smashed it actually, so the car's good. Except, I'll put this camera back up here. The car's good except for the power steering hose. I blew it. I was doing some 3-point turns, and the car must have, I don't know what it was. I think I'm using the wrong hose with the AN fittings, with the dash fittings. But yeah, it seems to have blown a hose in. Again, I can't see where it's leaking. I tightened it up. There's like a banjo fitting on the steering rack, which I tightened up. So yeah, power steering hose is now leaking fluid. So I've got smoke coming out when I'm stationary, so it looks pretty dodgy as. So anyway, I've got to like a 30-kilometre drive back home now. Hopefully the police don't pull me over, and as soon as they pull me over they're going to see the smoke and they're going to say, nah, it's not right, roadworthy, and probably have to then get an holy smoke. There's all about smoke. Well guys, I've got the results of my sound test. It was a good and bad day. Good that I passed, bad that I blew a power steering hose. But anyway, this is for the induction noise test, because I had the pod filter, non-standard. And these are the drive-by sound test readings. So basically anything under 79 is a pass, and you can see I did 5 passes each, backwards and forwards, left and right, and they average it out. So 75.1 on one side, 74.0 on the other. So, which is interesting because the pod filter is actually on the right side of the car. So, but anyway, and this one here's the stationary noise test, which has to be under 90, and you can see here I've got 87.25. So happy days. I've got to email these off to the engineer now, and that's another box ticked. So what I'm doing now is stripping the front of the motor to put a new time and chain guide on, which I should have done from the very beginning, but I thought I'd cheap out, and now I'm paying the price because it's got this awful rattle on startup. So I'm just going to bite the bullet and change that and be done with it. Developed a bit of a funny rattle right in the middle, which I think is a time and chain guide, because I did not replace the one that was in the motor. So I've got another one coming from the UK. It should be here this morning, so I'll fit that in this weekend. Everything else, everything's ready to go. So I did score I scored a subwoofer. So it's a freebie. Just a freebie to play with. So yeah, just a Sony. So I've hooked it in my little 5-channel kicker amp. I'll eventually get a little 6.5-inch kicker sub, just something that's subtle, and I'll put a custom box probably where the CD stacker goes. I'll probably hide it in there somewhere in a custom MDF box. But anyway, something for me to play with, and also cool thing about this kicker amp, it's got like its own little dial where you can actually play around with the bass. So No, I'm not a doof guy. I'd rather listen to a nice healthy V8, to be honest.